Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Prey. So we're inside the power plant, I believe, is where we are now. Yeah, power plant, and then very possibly we'll go to the Talos exterior, or we'll just work our way back to life support in the cargo bay even. We've visited, I guess, at this point, every location except for the bridge. But there's just this feeling that we might come back to the bridge anyways. There we can see there's two cystoid nests. We're dealing with yet another character who is giving us quests. Right, so the cystoid nests are inside the security office. And this new quest giver is basically dying from her paraphylaxis, or whatever it's called, disease that they've been talking about in emails this whole time. Oops. Let me ask this question. If I was to shoot that, and then shoot that, did we get all of the little cystoids destroyed? Looks like we did. Got some interesting artwork here on the walls. It definitely begs the question as to why we haven't seen more of this. Let's go ahead and jump here. I'm hearing this almost whale-like echoing sound out here, which I don't know if maybe that's a new kind of Titan or what. The whole white noise syndrome aspect still hasn't really been touched upon. It also kind of feels like the whale noise could just be done for a joke. Here we can see there's an operator going up that direction, which I guess that probably means that yeah, we can see there's a messy scene back here, so it does seem to me like they want us to go up through here. Let's deal with the security station first. So pause now if you want to read this. Do we have a password for this terminal? Not yet. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read the rest of that. We have weapon upgrades that we're finding now, but we don't have any weapons to upgrade. So yeah. So either there would be a note somewhere around here on the ground, or this is just yet another place where there really isn't a password. It almost would make sense that you would get the password after you hack it. That way you're not going through that whole mess on potentially a new game plus. Right. So download the area map. I imagine, like most of the other areas, this is probably a fairly large area. We may be getting a new list now of people and corpses to potentially find. No security alarm going off that time. Yeah, there could be any number of secrets back behind these windows. That's something that they never really did much with, though, is behind the pictures. Yes, we had some looking glass stuff. We might as well scan that guy while we're there. But even the looking glass stuff has stopped being a thing. There's a destroyed operator in there. Clear. Operator resuming. Let's see, even at this, it's not like you're really getting a good angle. There's somebody running around. Like, the greater mimics are good enough to hide. Grounding resistor broken, repair. So now we have a grounding resistor, which I guess the TranStar would have told us something.
What's the story on Michaela's office? I filed an incident report. Oh, I'm sure it's a page turner, but I don't have time. I need to get a crew on the other side of that breach.
So what's the problem?
Problem is it's blacker than my butthole at the bottom of the well in there.
The grounding resistor malfunctioned. Swap a new one and you have your lights. Is that all?
Hey, you sound rattled. What's up?
I tried replacing the resistor yesterday.
And
it just melted into some kind of goo. Smelled like fried ass.
Shit, man. That's not report, is it?
I need to get some sleep. My shift's over anyway. Maybe you'll have better luck.
So she put a mimic in the power control and it got electrocuted. Here we can see a couple of neuromods, so we definitely would want to go and get that at some point. So I guess that was just a jump scare. And we can see we need to... My health is so high, frankly, it just doesn't really matter if I get electrocuted. Like, but the general idea here, I'm sure, is to probably turn off the power. Let's listen to that recording. We don't have any neuromods at this point.
Matthew, I have hypothetical question for you. Come on, Manny. Just be upfront with me. I've seen you checking out my goose in these TranStar uniforms. If you want to ask me out, just know I do not. This is serious. Oh, serious and hypothetical. Well, shit, I'm listening now. Let's say you discover something incredibly treacherous. Life-threatening, something everyone ought to know about. I don't know. Send an email? Call security? But you need to do it anonymously. Oh shit, what did you do? I didn't do anything. Not yet. Okay, well, as long as we're talking hypothetical, I guess I EVA my ass out to that orbiting billboard and flash as Vegas on the screen. Not a bad idea. Thank you, Matthew. And for the record, your bottom looks frumpy. Whatever.
Okay. So we got a lot of electricity here. And I'm not sure if anything will turn it off. I think very possibly this whole flooded zone is just intentionally electrified. Let's see. Didn't seem like there was anything there. We're getting just more information of the escape pods not working. Like, what's funny here is that there really is, and the whole greater mimic just spawned, and when it spawned, it felt like it just spawned there. Yeah. It just got electrified and died too. Alright, well, we'll quick save here, and we'll see if that works well enough for us. What's funny about this is I'm not really seeing where you turn the power off. Alright. So what's our best bet? Being on top here. What is that? So we got a poltergeist somewhere around here. Those little cystoids. And they don't ever leave anything. The cystoids, so not really worth too much. There you have yet another Q-beam fabrication plan. MAL Championship. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read that. I suspect that there's a I feel like this poltergeist may just be on the other side. It'd be funny if you could only see poltergeist through the reflections. Really just took a sweet large amount of time to get to that point. So
Duncan, access code to park storage last shift. We had a short security came up and reset.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Hey, maybe it's not my place.
What? Spit it out.
Well, it's just there was a minor leak, and I told Connolly we should wait for his parts.
Duncan, I don't give a shit about your kissing contest with Connolly. Take it to Brooks. Code's embedded in this message.
That might be the thing we needed to touch to turn off the power. See if there's one over here. Nope. Okay. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause. Let's actually go ahead and just fix that with a waste of a bullet. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read the rest of this. Pause now. Pause now if you want to read that. Pause now. Pause now. Pause now. Pause now. Pause now. So, seems like there's Matthew Connolly having some kind of general argument that I just don't care about with somebody else. And that seems to be all there is to it. Now, if I was to try and zoom in here really far, looks like you can't just use the Hunter's Bolt gun, which would be your main thought. See, if I was to like shoot this, probably wouldn't help me anymore. So your best bet is probably to climb up here and start from this point. We'll jump here. We have there's Gene Farrer, somebody we're supposed to be looking out for. Okay. Seems like we're not getting shocked here. So. I may get shocked here if I'm not careful. Try that again. Now when you get shocked at that point, though, it doesn't seem like it really does anything to you as far as hurting you. Pause now if you want to read about this. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read the rest of that. Noticeably no technology here to turn off the power. I am shocked. Am I not? Yeah. It doesn't seem like it shocks you that much, though. So, yeah, I'm confused as to where the power switch would have been for all of this, if there is a power switch for all of this. Mostly, if I look around, I'm not sure that there's really that many pickup items or anything of interest. Like, noticeably, you're not seeing any neuromods or drawers or anything like that, so it may very well been a case that they just wanted to experiment with having one area that was always electrified. Or we may just turn off the power later, or I took the thing and put it in here prematurely, and that electrified this area, whereas this wouldn't have been electrified before. Any one of those could be the case, and none of it really matters too much. Let's eat a couple of pieces of food. Did get a new scope chipset. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a chipset, but it would probably be a suit chipset, not a scope chipset that would reduce electrical damage. No, it doesn't seem like I have anything like that. Alright, to the next area we go. Saw a greater mimic either as we were passing by. It would make sense if there was a seems like there might be a lot of mimics around here. Yeah. Let's check the map. So, yeah. Seems to me like there's gonna be multiple levels in this room. Maybe 4 or 5 basements in total, with a lot of verticality to it, and we're trying to reset the reactor. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pause this recording for just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, yeah. I imagine this is really a case where we're just going to scan a bunch of people, and if anything, this is going to be like the previous room, with the difference being that they're not going to line up for turrets, I think, as much. That phantom seen me. Yeah, at any point we could run into more people, too. If anything, this is probably a good setup. Like, should I potentially take out everybody here, or should I try for just the reactor control room? Yeah, I kind of wonder if I'm just could kill everybody in this room by resetting the reactor, and I'm supposed to just dodge all of this, or if I'm supposed to potentially get a turret hacked and ready to go and fortified, which is questionable. Let's just, like, there's no point in wasting bullets, so
That's right, you'll be locked out. Okay, Morgan, you'll need a supervisor keycard. Talia Brooks, in the coolant room. She didn't make it, but she'll probably have a card on her.
It looks to me like the right move here is probably to just take out these guys. We'll just go in and hack this and repair it and strengthen it. And that might be a waste, but at least we're playing the game, I think, the way they want us to play it. There we go. Arguably, it would be nice if we hacked both of them at the same time, instead of making us do this twice. Honestly, I would kind of be perfectly happy with the hacking system here if they just bothered to if they had just bothered to, wow, that was a lot of mimics and things, to give me any kind of resources at all for defeating enemies. Like, this whole area now, I think, is fairly safe. Maintenance access only. Can't open that. I'm just gonna wander around and run around. We got these little blocks that don't have anything in them.
Hey, a little bird told me you plugged in an unconventional manner a few weeks ago.
Yeah? Was it an ass-kissing bird named Krasikov?
Maybe. Care to elaborate?
Not if I'm going to get my pee-pee slapped.
Worse. I'll dunk you in the eel tank.
Ouch. Nah, supply was out of parts, so I borrowed a glue gun from the guys in hardware. Worked out okay.
Ingenious. Next time, let's make sure we have enough spare parts to do the job right.
Roger that, boss.
I imagine it's probably not worth it to fortify this one, but I'll hack it anyways. I'm gonna run low on spare parts. I'll refill it. In a lot of ways, it feels like there's too many gimmicks as far as here's a big reactor room and like we're only going to see that once in this whole game, when they could have just brought back some of the other gimmicks that we've already seen in the game and used them twice. Like reduce the variety in half and have a little bit more repetition. There's a 22, which that probably isn't a number. Man, there's just so many mimic corpses. It's like they're popping up when I'm not even seeing them, or there's just a bunch of Typhons that were already dead. One thing this game absolutely fails at, though, is the flashlight not being a permanent option. There's no need at all. Let's see. Guess we summoned a bunch of mimics there. I guess maybe that was what was happening before, is that this is a spot in the game where they really are willing to throw a bunch of things at you. Which that is where I thought this game would go eventually, is that we would have just ridiculous amounts of mimics. It's gotten fairly ridiculous as far as how far we've gotten with the multiple instances of fabrication plans. It's like they're trying to balance out the game so that you could potentially run to any spot, any part of the world, and you would always be able to find most of the fabrication plans relatively quickly. Right, so got some of those circuit boards, which let's find where they go before we carry it. No, I'm just gonna throw one down there. And hope I only need one if it's down there. There's nothing up here. I think we've gotten everything except for there's just never going to be any certainty as far as the mimic corpses. There's just a ton of them. Right, is this supposed to be the coolant room? It's a bunch of destroyed engineering things. You can't really open any of these panels. So this door is now unlocked. There's another path. See another turret. This game is crazy about how many turrets it gives you. They never really make any sense either. Like the area that I was in with all those phantoms would probably have been a great place to run into some turrets and prepare for a fight, except for the fact that we'd already kind of done that. Like by the time you got to a turret, you were more than likely already done with fighting the phantoms. So the whole game just really has this feel that it's like random placement of items. That was dumb. I should have been in scan mode, the annoying scan mode. Yeah, you have this random placement of abilities. You have random placement of items. You have random placement, random combinations of gameplay ideas, all hastily patched together, it seems. Waste of time hacking. Apparently at some point we found the supervisor's key, so I guess the question to better ask would come down to have we looked at all of this area? What could possibly be behind? What could really be behind all of this? Really would come down to a situation where the mimics would have to be spawning non-stop. I guess maybe if you played different areas in a different order, maybe then it would make some sense that placing turrets might be more useful, although I really question that. So it's the storage room that we went through before. So we've been, I think, everywhere there is to be. Okay. Let's just double check our map of this area. That's that area, and then that's like a whole different section. Okay, we may be going to the exterior. Not quite close enough to hit that person, but I kind of know where she is, I think. Right. Okay. So that took out like one phantom. And this is the coolant chamber where we potentially are going to find.
Morgan.
Where is she? Oh, here she is.
I thought I was going to die. well, sooner than I thought I was going to die. Where did that thing come from? Was it Tony? The way it was looking at me. I'd get up, except for my legs. And my lungs, and my nervous system. Don't look surprised. Paraplax, remember? You warned me. The boosters are in my office. No way I'm getting there now. But the lifts. I was serious before. I think we can bypass the lockdown. The reactor control room. There's a panel for shutting down everything. The whole station. The computer will scream at just do it. Then pray it will come when you cycle the power. It will. Now, go.
So, yeah, we just happen to have the medicine, so let's give it to her.
Oh, God. Morgan. You surprise the hell out of me sometimes. Please, right at the neck. Just look for the marks.
So here's a specially animated cutscene with the cursor in the middle and the heads-up display.
Oh God. I can breathe again. And feel my legs. Still some spots in the eye. But those should clear up. Thanks, Morgan.
So there was that whole side mission. We'll take the neuromods, we'll take the Typhon lures, we'll take the fabricator plan, just because we're picking up everything in the game, and usually the game does not complain about us picking up everything in the game. Alright. Pause now if you want to read this. You still really want to make sure you know it's the 23rd of February. Let's go ahead and unlock doors.
Let me catch my breath. Make sure I can stand. And I'll be alright. Now.
Just make sure we look at everything.
Repairs, please contact
Okay. We could do some food. That would be helpful. So let's eat this, and eat this, and this. And let's see if that works for us. This guy can only refill the hack, so we'll hack it. Come on. That's gonna give us 2 more emails to pretend like we're reading. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now. If you want to read this. They're saying the grounding things are not in storage or not good. Circuit breakers are not good, which is interesting to find out. It's there. Possibly something else to figure out.
I don't know what I would have done without you.
I seriously doubt it would be as fun playing this game as a bad guy and just killing people.
I can walk. Thanks, Morgan. I was fighting to breathe there for a bit.
See, my only little concern here is that she may not know where to go, and that I might need to talk to her some more. This turret that way, okay. Go ahead and grab all of that. I'm not sure I can get outside though.
I wondered how you would react to finding Michaela. You risked your life to help her. It makes me think the neuromod extraction didn't erase everything. Not completely. Perhaps particularly strong memories still leave impressions. Intuitive feelings. Or maybe you're simply more compassionate than I expected. Are you sure it wouldn't have been better to... I don't mean to be insensitive. But when she finds out you intend to destroy Talos I, she might react strongly given that there's no way off the station.
Getting 2 phone calls.
It's part of your brother's lockdown. The main livery exterior airlock. You're stuck until you can do something about it. He's trying to slow you down, Morgan, and putting everyone at risk in the process.
Alright. So we've unlocked the area. I need to go 1 layer down. So we could come back through the exterior later, but that's all we can really do. Suppose that was supposed to be a jump scare. Do I want to repair or just bash for spare parts and then summon a new one? I think it's probably smarter. Oh well. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I was gonna bash it with the wrench and then just summon another one.
Request new operator.
It doesn't even make sense that you have like 3 operators. If anything, that just feels like the whole game is going to... Like, the whole game potentially is expecting you to come back to every area 3 different times. And each of those 3 different times, you're going to... That's a nice gimmick, I suppose, but I mean...
Maybe I can help you. Good you again, Dr. You.
And that took like 25 of our health out. Just that one jump shot. Alright, let's equip the wrench. 1, 2, 3.
Pardon me.
I guess the question to ask before we get too far here is what other objectives do we have? Kill the cook, locate that body, locate that person, find the secret things, find the Melindra's map, which shows a way to specifically pull up Melindra's map. But I don't think I need to either, because I'm fairly certain it's in a place we've already been. This could be a big boss fight area. Just need to play correctly and be ready for mimics. So they definitely are playing with verticality here. I'm turning on the flashlight, then putting on the scope. Doesn't work. Right, so we have a locked gate here. Do we have a way of unlocking a gate? Or going around the gate? I don't think you can jump around the gate. I don't think that that's supposed to be a button that you can press to open the gate. So this may just be a case of having to turn the power back on. Inherently, I'm never really scared in any of these games. I just have too much of a sensible mind, I suppose is the way to phrase it. I know fiction from reality at all times. I don't get deep into it and have that suspension of disbelief. So when a body, a fake virtual body, appears leaning against the door, it's just not going to really spook me, or spooky music, or mimics jumping out at me. And this is definitely jump scare the game anyways. I will say I'm not 100% immune to the occasional shock of being jump scared, but I'm fairly immune to it. And certainly I'm not afraid because of it. You also have a situation here. Well, that was an interesting earthquake that happened. I assume that was intentional and scripted. Like, the fact that you have just a quantifiable amount of health and armor and guns all ready to use makes you in a much more ideal situation than what would happen in the real world. Is there any possibility that this is a secret thing? Yeah, it feels like all those smugglers' caches basically have to be in the main area. Right, could I reach the heights that I want to reach here, or would I just fail to my death? Okay. Nope. Well, we jumped down, missed some things. We can see this is a broken lift. It definitely feels like it is more of a scripted appearance of the nightmare. In that case, diverter. We're gonna have to carry a diverter somewhere. I'm not sure where. Let's just take it with us and go into scan mode until we can figure out whether we're about to fight. Okay. Got controls, but not anything that looks like you put a diverter on. Let's go this way. We did miss several floors here, so I could potentially need to take the diverter upward. But I will assume we're actually just supposed to take it downward. I kind of assume that reactor control room. Okay. Interesting. Maintenance access hatch. Okay. Let's see what happens if we just throw a cycler charge that direction. Nothing there. That did nothing either. So let's go ahead and use a med kit. Heck, use 2. What's our radiation at? 51%? We've got plenty of anti-rad pills. So we'll use one of those. 2. Okay. There's a cystoid somewhere. I don't see it. We can get into this control booth. That probably is the right move. What is over here? It doesn't look like much of anything. More ways up and down. Yeah, this game really just has that disconnect. This would be a great location to have like a turret appear and or not a turret, a nightmare appear and fight it in a similar way that you would kind of expect that you would choose in certain points in BioShock to summon a big daddy and fight it. And be really prepared for that. But that's just totally not what happens here at all, because you have this situation where the nightmare was there and ready. Right, will this... Alright, I'm just gonna stick one here. Deploy. Hack this one. And one is all I'm gonna use. Just because I'm short on spare parts. But there's no way to... There's no way to like break down your character's spare parts. Just mark all these for later use if we need them. Here's another diverter. The weapon upgrade part. Here is a operator dispenser. Like, why would you want to hack 2 of those? Unless you were just trying to get achievements for hacking multiple of these.
Requesting operator.
It definitely seems more like it's just environmental design. Yeah, it definitely feels more like environmental design. Yeah. Than anything else. That you would have 2 operators of the exact same kind floating around, or possibly you were setting yourself up for, I don't know, a tech typhoon to come and take over all the operators. Guess there's a hatch here in case you needed a different way in. Anti-rad. Excerpt from the Manual of Emergency Procedures, reboot initialization safety switches. Safety control switches for all utilities must be placed in off position in the following order before initiating a reactor shutdown. Okay, let's check that again. So there's a safety switch here, safety switch here, safety switch here. I have no idea which safety switch is which. However, let's start with the basic things we can figure out. We can pick up stuff and floating cup in the air, which just makes the game feel buggy, which it undoubtedly is. Okay. Let's see what this says. Access safety switches. Safety switches accessible. Seems like something from the music would. Magnetosphere substation, photovoltaic rings, main reactor, life support, gravity. Magnetosphere substation, power grid, photovoltaic rings, gravity. Start with that. Activate that one. I'll just double check. Substation, power grid. That one. Photovoltaic rings. I bet it's this way. Gravity, life support, main reactor now. Yep. Six of 6 systems initialized. To initiate reboot without proper authorization. It would be funny if this ended the game.
Connor, we idiot. Supposed to check those diverters a week ago. Alright, Morgan, going down to fix it yourself. Or find a replacement with that lucky.
Let's see. Okay. Like, nobody's attacking us at all. Let's grab a diverter and hope that this is one of the good ones. Warning. Let's see.
I've loaded the replacement diverters on the phrase lift as requested. I asked Connolly to send them down when convenient.
Voice tech detected. Medical attention.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and go into our inventory. What's our status as far as radiation? 100%. Radiation sickness seemingly not as big of a deal as you might think. Okay. So we did it.
You did it. I'm showing power to the lifts and the airlocks. But seeing a lot of power spikes and leaks in the coolant chamber. Watch yourself on the way back. There could be other structural damage.
Okay.
Wow.
So we can see him taking over turrets.
You said everything. Talos I is wide open. Clever. Reckless, but clever. It's good to see something changed. I'm not gonna get in your way anymore. You deserve the truth. All of it. Come up to my office.
Morgan, was that you? Whatever you did, I feel in my gut. If this is some kind of payback. Power's coming back online. And that means the main lift too. I hope.
So it seems like we're helping everybody. Only real issue here is now we've got like floating turrets. And let's see. So they just grabbed all those turrets. I feel like there's two of them though. Where's the other guy? Did he float up far away? See, these broken turrets just don't do anything, so I could like recycle them. That's about all I could do with them. Meanwhile, if I want to use the elevator, I have to repair that. If I want to use this, I have to repair that, so I need more spare parts. If I want to use this, I have to use that. So was the game just glitchy and showing me... That's just a light. Interesting. Was it just glitchy and showing me two things? Or...
Resuming.
See, just...
Request new operator. Engineers class ready to deploy. Please stand clear of aperture.
So yeah, I'm just looking around to try to get a general idea. Okay. Yeah. So if that's all you can really do with them, then maybe it does just make some sense to put a bunch here, throw that. And then try to pick up as many of those that you can find and get a turn on your mineral. Is there something more interesting down here, or is this just a lot of verticality? At a certain level they might as well have not just bothered to have so much verticality, considering how it's not really doing anything for the game. It's a whole nother maintenance area here for the reactor. What would this have done? It seems like this might be the destroy the space station spot, but I don't think we have the arming key yet, or both arming keys. I think we need Alex's arming key still, so we may very well come back to this whole area, and so we may very well have made a mistake in destroying the turrets. Alright. Well, the real trick here, obviously, is to dismantle the guns. Don't know why it's really asking me if I want to dismantle the guns, though, when they're not favorited guns in the first place. You know, let's see. Dismantle that and see if that gives us 10 spare parts. And then dismantle those two for 2 more, hopefully. And honestly, we can just dismantle all of that. And honestly, I guess if I had been dismantling all of this, yeah, all of a sudden now I have a ridiculous amount of spare parts. It makes so much sense now. I could have been dismantling grenades this whole time. Let's just make sure we have everything. Any last minute changes and decisions? No, I think that's good. Just kill that just to make sure. The game has just kind of opted to stop talking to me while I'm doing all of this, which is fine. And honestly, I think we're good on shotgun shells. Noticeably, the game is not really giving us a lot of shotgun shells, but do we really need the game to give us shotgun shells? We still have plenty. There are some characters that obviously are better off being taken out with the Q-beam. but that's really only the techno typhoons. There's nothing else we, to my knowledge, really need to craft. So we'll just make a big old pile of neuromods and hold down the X button. We're running a little low on this resource, so I could probably get rid of like these suit repair kits to get more of that resource if necessary. Where are we now, objective wise? I guess we're going to just crawl through all of this, back up. Our main story says go to the Arboretum. Most of our things seem to be around going to the Arboretum, with the exception of Melinda's map, which, in all fairness, if I was to try to figure out Melinda's map, it's probably a note or an email. It's probably somewhere way here. Treasure map for Rosalind Swift. Treasure map for Stab Fellow. Yeah. So it probably was an email, not a treasure map. Or it just happens to be really, really low. Now the problem that you're going to run into is that you can't even bring up the other maps of the other places. So I would have to find Melinda's treasure map, which is probably in an email, and then use some context clues to try to figure out where it is. Noticeably, there's no exclamation points on any of these notes, so they're not that important. Let's see if we can scroll down the emails, maybe find the other treasure maps. Like, let's see. Michaela. Annalise. This we should meet soon. Storyline hasn't happened yet. Are none of the treasure maps actually in emails? It kind of makes sense that they wouldn't be in emails. It's just so much. This also has not been solved, so at least the exclamation points here seem to be important. The story still seems to have not been solved. There are definitely a lot of... Yeah. So there must have been a treasure map here that I just can't find because I'm scrolling through it too fast. Here's Melinda's. Okay. So it says ELB, which might be elevator basement, and then it has the triangle in the triangle. It might be the Electric Lotus basement, or who knows. So, yeah. But unfortunately, if you like come back and leave that, it just resets itself, so can't even stick with that. Alright, well, let's keep on playing. Just investigate everything here. The lockdown has been shut down. Let's see. So over here, still doesn't really seem like much of anything. Unless there was going to be some kind of surprise item. You have a lot of stairs, a lot of different ways that you could reach from one place to another. And yeah, plenty of room for mimics to potentially appear. Although I question whether we really are going to run into any mimics. Well, I guess we will. For every mimic we kill, we get another bit of exotic material. Speaking of exotic material, I made all of those neuromods and did not even give a single thought to improving that. I'm just going to take this, and take this, and go ahead and take this anyways, and this. So now we would need still a lot of neuromods. You're definitely looking at like 20 to 30 neuromods still. And that's just to get all the human ones. To get all the other ones, you're probably looking up much higher numbers. So I jumped down at that point. Where did that guy come from? It's almost like even the little mimics might be able to do something. Alright, so the only way to do this is to take this. Once you are down, there's always a jump downward. Okay, good to know. So if anything, this is really building towards the idea that we'll go to the exterior, because it wouldn't make a lot of sense to do anything else. Okay. Locked. Locked with a button on the other side. Hey, there is a technopath somewhere around here. I thought there was. Can we finally find it? Well, that took a lot of health. Technopath would explain the hacked operators. It's just how in the world is it hiding so well? I mean, it's not a small thing. Shouldn't be able to hide as well as it is. And yet, that's exactly what it's doing. Oh well, we know it's here. Just can't find it. Yeah, there's a mimic somewhere. Now too. Wonder what the whole fire aspect there is all about then. Maybe that is just for set dressing. Okay. So climb up here. There's just no way you're gonna get up there. Seriously, game, where are you hiding? Okay. Bring the body out. Maybe this is a case where you're supposed to carry something off of it. I mean, it doesn't even want to really cooperate with that if that was the case, though. If there was a way to repair this elevator, I would buy that. But it really doesn't feel like there's a way to repair the elevator either. Like if you were just gonna smack things. Finally. Maybe there's a pipe issue here. Maybe that's the trick. Go up here. Get up here. There's a mimic over there. Inherently, that's all this game is doing for you, is it's just creating these areas that are too big for the jump scare mimic concept, and then you're very easily walking through an area that does happen to have a mimic in it, but the odds of you actually walking by it are just incredibly low. Okay. Over this way. Up here. Up here. I still can't even really see the button that we're trying to target. And I assume it is just a button. I guess there are just specific spots. If I could get up to that spot, that would work. But how? Manual override. You just don't have a button that's like, you just don't have the ability to fly. You can slowly descend. That's about it. So I need to go one higher. That was a waste of bullets. Took some extra damage there. I'm spending way too much time here in this level. But if anything, this does kind of just feel like this would be the end of the game level, so that's maybe why it has infinitely spawning enemies, where so many other things didn't. Right. Locked. We'll just try the brute force method here. A recycler charge here. Not catching that. I straight up just saw a phantom. Is there something on this map that I'm not getting? Like, it seems once you leave the reactor room, you wouldn't come back into the reactor room. So unless you had a remote control thing, you'd think that there would be a computer control or something. Just look upward and see if there's maybe a trick here. Maybe it is just if you are high enough, you can sneak over. They potentially have entire phantoms. It doesn't look like there's anything that's accessible up there, and it doesn't really feel like this is the right move, because you gotta get the precision pretty tight to land on the ledge to then jump up here. There's nothing like bright and colorful here that screams this is the way. So I think I just have to give up on that. Like, if there is a way to get in there, it's gotta be through some other path. And I couldn't begin to guess what that other path is supposed to be. Right. Grant Lockwood is apparently 2 meters this way, which makes me suspect that Grant Lockwood is the fake chef. We're just going to be surprised by him. He kind of does need to pop up.
Careful, Morgan. Gas alarm went off in the chamber after you powered the reactor back up. The turbines are hydrogen cool. Now they're leaking. You take a shot and it's your last. It'll be like shooting a grenade at your feet or worse.
Okay.
Diagnosing. Superficial injury. Nothing of portable medical handle. Please, still. This will only take a moment. Hold on. Please fill out a patient questionnaire so I can better next time.
So where's Grant Morgan?
Nice work, Morgan. You'll make junior engineer yet. Now, get to the lift. But be careful. No telling what got stirred up in the shake. I'll follow when I can. Meet you at your office. I'll contact you when I get to your office. I am feeling better. Still a few spots in the eyes, but I've got feeling back in my legs. All the feelings.
So weirdly, this seems like the game wants me to go this way. Back through here.
Warning, warning, dangerous level of explosive gas detected. Please evacuate and avoid all flames or sparks until repairs can be made.
Hello. Nice to see you.
So, I guess what we'll do is we'll go outside. Grant Lockwood's out here. And we'll find Grant Lockwood. And then we'll come back and move the main story from this point. Which is what we've been doing anyways with all of this. Let's see. Hull breach at cargo bay. I think we've probably already done that hull breach. Power plant is a focus. Let's just look around a little bit.
Morgan. I haven't been here since I believe it was the time when your medical condition was discussed, Chief Engineer Ilyushin. What the hell? Morgan, is that January. Morgan, personal operator. Talk about loving the sound of your own voice. All right. January. Is that Morgan's workstation? And the fabricator? Morgan, come up here when you get a chance. Chief Ilyushin, please do not.
So, yeah. Still looking for Grant Lockwood. Not finding him. But Hull Breach Power Plant is a good place to look. As soon as we left the area, that character, who I don't think, I think she was an ex-girlfriend too, so how many girlfriends did you date? I guess is the question. May very well have already been in this place because we may have already investigated this whole area. Let's see if we can pause now if you want to read that. Pause now if you want to read that. Pause now if you want to read that. Yeah. That's all stuff we've already done. So we already got the stuff here. This, I guess, would have been the spot where you would have maybe gotten the drugs for her. So there would have very possibly been a side mission.
Morgan, this is Dr. Igwe. I've made it to your office.
Igwe, what are you doing here? How did you survive?
Chief Ilyushin. Well,
Dr. Igwe.
I word. What is that? Is that you, Morgan?
Hardly. This is January. Morgan's attempted at having a conscience. But as per usual, only evidence of her ego.
There's a number of responses I could make to Ilyushin, but we are pressed for time. And Dr. Igwe has already shown signs of anxiety, disorientation.
Fine. Useful Igwe. Stand watch, keep away from the fabricator.
Yes, Ilyushin. And January.
Okay. I'll double check to make sure there's no safe back here. We'll go ahead and hack this. So now 2 people are in our office, which that just really feels like that's going to be another another place of
TranStar Cohort 10 engineering class operator.
safety.
Please stand clear of aperture.
We'll just have some humans in our office, some humans in the cargo bay. We'll have saved lots of people. And then potentially we kill them all by blowing up the ship. Well, I'm not sure. I'm supposed to be looking for something more than what I've already found. Really does just feel like this is yet another experiment gone wrong as far as having space exploration occur, and then at best having cystoids attack you, at worst having nothing happen other than awkward space flying. Unless there's supposed to be something up here, secret, which I doubt. There's no computer or anything like that here. So we got 2 hypno So we got 2 neuromods, we got some computer emails, and that's pretty much it. There's several things. Several airlocks, but I don't know if there's really anything more than that. It's just a whole bunch of glue that very possibly I put here. The problem here is I don't have a way of tracking that last guy on the Talos exterior. Like, I had him set up as the character that we were looking for, and then I missed him. I changed it to someone else. Grant Lockwood. Set inactive, set active. Somewhere out here is Grant Lockwood. Where? Though. I bet he's somewhere far, far away. This is just a weaver. Alright, well. From a further distance, could we possibly find something? I think that probably is the move, is to stay very far away and see if we can see something. Here's the derelict shuttle. See a weaver path that way. This is incredibly slow and incredibly boring. The TranStar sign. They did mention something about the TranStar sign. And this looks like this might be something too. That's just a line. So this is the top of the space station that we're approaching here. Which almost makes me wonder, can we just enter? Can you enter the bridge? Through the top? Could you potentially have entered the bridge at any point through the top? No. That would be asking too much, I'm sure. That would make the game way too easy. So I'm assuming in this case I have found all the other bodies. There it is. So I needed emails. I needed to be able to put together multiple emails in this backstory to get to this point, to realize that there was a human corpse here. Or I would have had to have just been curious enough to really want to go this whole direction. I mean, to get really close to him. That's Emmanuel Mendoza. That's not Grant Lockwood either. Anyways, so that is actually somebody else. I'm getting bumped back, or it's just spinning at a high speed. Come on. I think I'm supposed to do something on this thing, but I'm having a real hard time maintaining an orbit here without bumping things. Let's see if we can maybe turn everything upside down like that and see if the game will treat me a little bit nicer because of that. So I'll potentially hit my feet instead of bumping. The upload was interrupted. Plus OK to continue to upload. Okay. So now we're uploading information on the sign. Okay. And I assume the upload to the sign reveals more of our crimes. Let's fly a little bit this direction and see what it says. Escape pods. You have this horrible reflection. Escape pods are fake. Okay. Which we started this whole game in a fake thing, so it seems to me like very possibly Alex Yu likes to fake things. Okay. Still puts us in a weird position as far as we don't know where Grant Lockwood is, and seemingly we won't be able to figure out where he is unless we had better tracking gear on. I'm not just gonna scan at him unless I got very close to him. That multiple objectives there. The only thing I guess we could also potentially do is, this is I think just a mimic technopath. See if we can cover some of that organics. There. There's another billboard. We could go check that one out too. It seems like it would be kind of crazy to go for the moon, though. That would seem ridiculous.
Radiation voice tech detected. Seek medical attention.
Seems like I'm getting radiated, probably because I'm too far away. Either that or this end of the ship is just radioactive for some reason. And I can't even read it, but I think the sign maybe changes, either based on how far away you are or there's multiple signs. That would be my question, I guess, is it possible that there are multiple signs? Definitely been to these areas before. Now that one looks like we got it, so I'm wondering if there's another sign on the other side of the ship. Yes, there is. Let's go check that one out. Is that the derelict ship, or is that a Weaver? So you have to be about 300 meters, it looks like, away from something before it would show up. Which does definitely make an argument that wherever Grant Lockwood is, he is hidden extremely well, or just not there at all. Like that one doesn't even have a monitor on it. Okay. Multiple objectives in the Arboretum. This is sending me in the wrong place. Wrong direction, but I'm happy to go in the wrong direction if I could finish one more of these side objectives, because yeah, we're pretty much approaching the end of the game. Well, other things are more than 300 feet away, too. Alright, so I'm giving up. Feels like of the 4 or 5 times we've been outside the spaceship, there really have been 3 or 4 times that have just gone particularly poorly. Not that you've died out in space or anything like that, it's just that you don't accomplish anything as much as you would want. These docks are not particularly helpful. definitely feels like a large amount of glue to be shot.
Diagnosing superficial injuries. Nothing of portable medical handle. Please hold still. This will only take a moment. Hold on. Please fill out a patient experience questionnaire so I can serve you better next time.
So she's gone. Actually gone. And I just want to go through this area.
Warning.
This way.
Explosive gas detected. Please evacuate and avoid all flames or sparks until repairs can be made.
So the Phantom's probably not going to do anything.
Warning. Dangerous level of explosive gas detected.
Okay.
Please evacuate and avoid all flames or sparks until repairs can be made.
There we go.
Tank integrity restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 33%.
Okay, so we're supposed to, I guess, run around and repair tanks. If we can find which ones are broken.
Tank integrity restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 33%.
So there's 33 of them. And so we're just avoiding the Phantoms until that happens. And so I guess the idea is
hydrogen loss reduced by 33%.
find tanks, repair tanks. And then we can kill.
Restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 33%.
So there's 2 more broken tanks, obviously. But they kind of need to all be on the ground.
Tank integrity restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 33%. Tank integrity restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 33%.
Let's check the map and just make sure that there isn't another level or room here. I don't think so.
Tank integrity restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 33%.
Is there anything else that needs to be repaired or replaced?
Tank integrity restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 33%. Tank integrity restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 66%.
Alright, so there's one more.
Tank integrity restored. Hydrogen loss reduced by 99.779%. Threat of explosive gas minimal. Normal operations pending supervisor approval.
Wow, I almost missed a neuronod there. Alright. So now we can just shoot these guys. And you really are getting a lot more from phantoms than you are from some of the other mimics and typhons out there. Okay. I mean, it becomes so mundane, so commonplace. Like, there might be a whole phantom around here, and I just kind of don't care. I don't really need to kill it. So there was these nice little handles you could have jumped up on. I guess there are some numbers here that they have thrown in, some extra numbers, but they're double-digit numbers, and all the single-digit numbers have always been for the treasure hunt. Right. Up we go. We never got to this area. Huh? Could have sworn we got to this area. Engineering offices. So we got to an area that looked a lot like this area, and yet is not this area. And so I'd have to go back outside, I guess, to figure that out. Very possibly I would just never do that. And yeah, it does just feel like this area is always going to be electrified and always going to be dangerous. And it's just intentionally designed that way. Maybe we could get a general idea, trying to figure out what part of the space station this is on. We can actually see Earth from this window, which oddly is not what we're usually seeing. We're usually seeing the moon. Crew. Okay. Let's see. Let's just in general look at what corpses we found. Pretty much everything, but not quite everything. There are still some people that we haven't found that are safe, or that we have found that are alive or safe. Here's Grant Lockwood. Yeah, are we going back to the cargo hold? Probably not. So we're going a little long here. Just because we kind of know that. Let's see, what's this new suit chipset we found? Knock back opponents. I don't even think that's something you would want. Could go and recycle some things. Sure. While we're at it. You can see there's more weavers.
You came back from outside. Fixed elevators. Thank you. Now I can move free. You not so much. You are in life support. A job there, I think. Ill tanks. Where your TranStar food comes from. Chopped up and made new colors. Connected to septic system. A job there too, I think.
Alright. So we have a corrupted operator, which probably means that there's a techno character here. There's another one behind me. Yep, if anything, I think that really highlights how useless the turrets are. We were looking for a recycler here. Let's just quickly drop all of the junk. Just recycle all of that. Okay. I figure what might happen here is that they might throw just a little bit of game here, extra game in this area, and then we can be done with it fairly quickly. I'm hoping that's the case. I don't really see a need to race through this entire area again. These little shocks do seem like they are just going to happen going forward. And here's a weaver. So let's just... yeah. So yeah, last time we had the nightmare in this area. This time we have a weaver. Take it out fairly easily, even though it did inflict fear on me. You just have a whole bunch of broken things. Yep. The more places you go, the more you run into mimics, and the more bullets they take. Which it says I have 14 bullets, but... well, maybe that is true. We may be running low on shotgun bullets. Yeah, very questionable whether it's really necessary, though, to run back through all of this. And if anything, this is highlighted that the turrets don't really work. Seriously? We don't have enough to make shotgun bullets. Interesting. I'm just gonna take everything here, toss it in this corner next to all of these, and see what that does. Do I have any more turrets? There's a couple others in the other room that I could try and grab, but nah. So hopefully that gives me enough mineral now to make a couple shotgun shells. Maybe not that much. Yeah, that really wasn't that much. So you've got a lot of guys fighting me here. Just trying to pick up everything possible. Yeah, the game has done the one thing that I said it might do, which was drain my bullets to a desperate point. And that would be about the only way that you could have me run out of bullets or add any strategy or difficulty. Like, we have the whole atmosphere control section here, but we don't have any reason why we would go mess with atmosphere control again.
Hello. Are you here for an appointment?
I get a full here.
Hold on. Please fill out a experience questionnaire so I can serve you better next time.
Why is that guy corrupted? Does seem weird that operators are now being corrupted by phantoms or something. Alright. We've gone way too long. We have every single weapon upgraded, and it's unlikely we would see any new weapons. We now have 7 upgrade kits, which arguably we do need to just now turn into resources. We could go back to the cargo bay to get to the exterior, but that really wouldn't get us much of anything. We've been everywhere except for the bridge. So unless this is the midway point when we get to the bridge and something gets told to us that has us run around the entire level, I think we're close to being done. Let's see. At some point, this imposter cook character has to show up. And then Arboretum stuff I've missed, and lobby stuff. Let's see. Jean for we couldn't reach her for some reason. Couldn't figure it out. So there's potentially one more person that you could save. Then there's this whole treasure map, which I suspect the treasure map might require us to go back to Psychotronics. There's still a lock between the shuttle bay and the guts area, so that's probably still some storyline related stuff. Inventory we're fine, suit chipsets we're fine. Neuromods, we put a lot of resources into neuromods, too much resources when we should have put some resources into bullets. The Morgan Yu we see now has kind of black eyes, like she has Typhon DNA in her, but it's not really that. It hasn't changed any because we haven't put any more neuromods into Typhon abilities. As far as all of this stuff, minor progress has been made in the last 2 hours and 30 minutes. I seriously doubt we'll ever get another plan. It would have been nice if things had gotten cheaper. I seriously doubt we're going to be able to scan or need to scan anything. It would have been nice if scanning things reduced the amount of bullets necessary to kill those things. When we do get to the lobby, we will be able to mind jack the person in the medical bay, but there is a door in the medical bay too that I bet we still don't have the key card for, and there's a door in the electrical IT department in the lobby that I bet we still don't have the key for. So it feels like there's just room. Alright, maximum number of saves have been made. Well, then let's go ahead and overwrite the one here. According to this game, we've been playing for 92 hours and 19 minutes. That is not accurate at all. It is adding to the play time when I leave it paused. Which, yeah. We definitely have not been playing 92 hours. This game has felt a little grindy and a little long, certainly, but not that long. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.